म्याय चावसान्याय च नमः स्रोतस्याय च द्वीप्याय च नमो ज्येष्ठाय च कनिष्ठाय च नमः पूर्वजाय चापरजाय च नमो मध्यमाय चापगल्भाय च नमो जघन्याय च बुद्ध्नियाय च नमः सोभ्याय च प्रतिसर्याय च नमो याम्याय च क्षेम्याय च नमः उर्वव्याय च खल्याय च नमः श्लोक्याय चावसान्याय च नमो वन्याय च कक्ष्याय च नमः श्रवाय च प्रतिस्रवाय च नमः आशवे च आशुषेणाय चासुरथाय च नमः शूराय चावभिन्दते च नमो वर्मिणे च वरूथिने च नमो बिल्मिने च कवचिने च नमः श्रुताय च श्रुतसेनाय च नमो दुन्दुभ्याय चाहनन्याय च नमो धृष्णवे च प्रमृषाय च नमो दूताय च प्रहिताय च नमो निषङ्गिणे चेषु धिमते च नमस्तीक्ष्णेशवे चायुधिने च नमः स्वायुधाय च सुधन्वने च नमः श्रुत्याय च पथ्याय च नमः काट्याय च नीप्याय च नमः सूद्याय च सरस्याय च नमो नाद्याय च वैसन्ताय च नमः कोप्याय चावट्याय च नमो वर्षाय चावर्षाय च नमो मेघ्याय च विद्युत्याय च नमः ईध्रियाय चातप्याय च नमो वात्याय च रेश्मियाय च नमो वास्तव्याय च वास्तुपाय च नमः सोमाय च रुद्राय च नमस्ताम्राय चारुणाय च नमः शङ्गाय च पशुपतये च नमः उग्राय च भीमाय च नमो अग्रे वधाय दूरे वधाय च नमो हन्त्रे च हनीयसे च नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यो नमस्ताराय नमः शम्भवे च मयो भवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च नमः शिवतराय च नमस्तीर्थ्याय च कूल्याय च नमः पार्याय च वार्याय च नमः प्रतरणाय चोतरणाय च नमः आतार्याय चालाद्याय च नमः शष्प्याय च फेन्याय च नमः सिकत्याय च भवार्याय च नमः हिरण्याय च प्रपथ्याय च नमः किकुंशिलाय च क्षयणाय च नमः कपर्दिने च पुलस्तये च नमो गोष्ठ्याय च गृह्याय च नमस्तल्प्याय च गेह्याय च नमः काट्याय च गह्वरेष्ठाय च नमो हृदयाय च निवेश्याय च नमः पागुंसव्याय च रजस्याय च नमः शुष्क्याय च हरिद्याय च नमो लोप्याय चोलप्याय च नमः ऊर्व्याय च सूर्म्याय च नमः पर्ण्याय च पर्णशद्याय च नमोपगुणमाणाय चाभिघ्नते च नमः आखिदते च प्रखिदते च नमो किरिकेभ्यो देवानागुं हृदयेभ्यो नमो विक्षीणकेभ्यो नमो विचिन्वत्केभ्यो नम आनिर्हतेभ्यो नम आमीवत्केभ्यः द्रापे अन्धसस्पते दरिद्रनीललोहितं येषां पुरुषाणामेषां पशूनां माभेर्मा रोमो येषां किञ्चनाममत् या ते रुद्रशिवा तनु शिवा विश्वः भेषजी शिवा रुद्रस्य भेषजी तया नो मृदजीवसे इमागुं रुद्राय तवसे कपर्दिने क्षयद्वीराय प्रभरामहे मतिं यथा नः समसद्विपदे चतुष्पदे विश्वं पुष्टं ग्रामे अस्मिन्ननातुरम् मृडानो रुद्रोतनो मयस्कृधि क्षयद्वीराय नमसा विधीमते यच्छञ्च योश्च मनुराय जय पिता ददस्याम तव रुद्रप्रणीतो मानो महान्तमुतमानो अर्भकं मान उक्षन्तमुतमान उक्षितं मानो वधिः पितरं मोतमातरं प्रियामानस्तनुवो रुद्ररीरिषः मानस्तोके तनये मान आयुषि मानो गोषो मानो अश्वेषुरीरिषः वीरान् मानो रुद्रभामितो वधिः विष्मन्तो नमसा विधेमते आराते गोघ्न उत पूरुषघ्ने क्षयद्वीराय सं नमस्मे ते अस्तु रक्षा च नो अधि च देव ब्रूह्यदा च न शर्म यच्छुतिबर्हाः स्तुहि श्रुतं गल्पसदं युवानं मृगण्ण भीममुपहत्नुमुग्रं मृदा चरित्रे रुद्रस्तवानो अन्यन्ते अस्मिन्निव पन्तु सेनाः परिणो रुद्रस्य हेतिर्विनक्तु परित्वेषस्य दुर्मतिरघायोः अवस्थिरामघवद्भ्यस्तनुष्वमीढ्वस्तोकाय तनयाय मृडय मीढुश्रमशिवतम शिवो नः सुमना भव परमे वृक्ष आयुधन्निधाय कृत्यं वसान आचर पिनाकं बिभ्रदागहि विकिरीदविलोहित नमस्ते अस्तु भगवः यास्ते सहस्रगुं हेतयोन्यमस्मिन्निव पन्तु ताः सहस्राणि सहस्रधा बाहुवोस्तव हेतयः तासामीशानो भगवः पराचीनामुखाकृधि सहस्राणि सहस्रशो ये रुद्र अधिभूम्यां तेषागुं सहस्रयोजने वधन्वानि तन्वसि अस्मिन् महत्यर्णवेऽन्तरिक्षे भवा अधि नीलग्रीवाः शितिकण्ठाः सर्वा अधः क्षमाचराः नीलग्रीवा शितिकण्ठादिवगुं रुद्र उपसृताः ये वृक्षेषु सस्पिञ्जरा नीलग्रीवा विलोहिताः ये भूतानामधिपतयो विशिखासः कपर्दिनः ये अन्येषु विविध्यन्ति पात्रेषु पिबतो जनान् ये पथां पतिरक्षय ऐलभृदां यव्युधः ये तीर्थानि प्रचरन्ति श्रिकावन्तो निषङ्गिणः ये एतावन्तस्य भूयागुंसश्च दिशो रुद्रवितस्थिरे तेषागुं सहस्रयोजने वधन्वानि तन्वसि नमो रुद्रेभ्यो ये पृथिव्यां वेऽन्तरिक्षे ये दिवि येषामन्नं वातो वर्षमिषवा स्तेभ्यो दश प्राचीर्दश दक्षिणा दश ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ कर्पूरगौरं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि ॐ गणपतये नमः निधनपतान्तकाय नमः ऊर्ध्वाय नमः ऊर्ध्वलिङ्गाय नमः हिरण्यलिङ्गाय नमः हे नमः स्वर्णलिङ्गाय नमः दिव्यलिङ्गाय नमः आत्मलिङ्गाय नमः परमलिङ्गाय नमः सोमस्य सूर्यस्य सर्वलिङ्गस्थापयति पानिमन्त्रं पवित्रं सत्योजातं प्रपद्यामि सत्योजाताय वे नमो नमः भवे भवेनाति भवे भवस्य मां भवो भवाय नमः अग्मदेवाय नमो ज्येष्ठाय नमो श्रेष्ठाय नमो रुद्राय कर्विकलनाय नमः कलनाय नमः बलप्रमतनाय नमः मनोन्मनाय नमः अघोरेभ्यो तघोरेभ्यो घोरघोरतरेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यो नमस्ते अस्तु रूपेभ्यः तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्रः प्रचोदयात् ईशान सर्वविद्यानाम् ईशान सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्मणोऽधिपते ब्रह्मा शिवो मे अस्तु सदा शिवो श्री नमः तघोरे देव की जय। प्रेम से बोलो श्री उमापति महादेव की जय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय। नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय। नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय। योगेश्वरा शिव योगेश्वरा, हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय। योगेश्वरा शिव योगेश्वरा, हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम से बोलो श्री उमापति महादेव की जय। प्रेम से बोलो श्री उमापति महादेव की जय। जय गणेश गिरिजा सुवन मंगल मूल सुजान, कहत अयोध्या दास तुम देहो अभय वरदान। जय गिरिजापति दीन दयाला, सदा करत संतन प्रतिपाला। भाल चंद्रमा सोहत नीके, कानन कुंडल नाग तनीके। अंग गौर सिर गंग बहाए, वंद माल तन चार लगाए। वस्त्र काल बागंबर सोहे, छवि को देख नाग मुनि मोहे। मैना मातु के हवे दुलारी, वाम अंग सोहत छविहारी। कर शूल सोहत छवि भारी, करत सदा शत्रुन क्षयकारी। नंदी गणेश सोहे तहं कैसे, सागर माझ कमल है जैसे। कार्तिक श्याम और घन रायो, या छवि को कहीं जात न खाओ। देवन जब ही जय पुकारा, तब ही दुख प्रभु आप निवारा। किया उपाद्रव तारक भारी, देवन से मिली तुम ही जुहारी। पुरत षडानन आप पठायो, नव निमेष महामारी गिरायो। आप जलंधर असुर संहारा, सुयश तुम्हारा विदित संसारा। त्रिपुरासुर सन युद्ध मचाई, सब ही कृपा कर लीन बचाई। किया तपहि भगीरथ भारी, धन न महन तुम सम को नाही। सेवक स्तुति करत सदाई, वेद नाम महिमा तब गाई। अकथ अनादि भेद नहीं पाई, प्रगति उदधि मंथन में ज्वाला। जय सुरासुर भय निहारा, दीन्ह दया तह करी सहाई। नीलकंठ तब नाम कहाई, पूजन रामचंद्र जब कीना। जीत के रंग विभीषण दीना, सहस कमल में हो रहे धारी। दीन परीक्षा तब ही पुरारी, एक कमल प्रभु राखे उजोई। कमल नयन पूरन चल सोई, कठिन भक्ति देखी प्रभु शंकर। हरे प्रसन्न दिए चतवर, जय 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 अनंत अविनाशी। सब ही कृपा सबकी प्रसाद ते होए, पंडित त्रयोदशी को लावे, ध्यान पूर्वक होम करावे, त्रयोदशी व्रत करे हमेशा, कल नहीं कहाँ के रहे कलेशा, धूप दीप नैवेद्य चढ़ावे, शंकुर सम्मुख पाठ सुनावे, जन्म जन्म के पाप नसावे, अंतर्वास शिवपुर में आवे, कही अयोध्या से तुम्हारी, जाई सकल दुख हरहु हमारी, ओम नमः शिवाय, 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 ओम नमः शिवाय। नित्य नेम कर प्रातः ही पाठ करो 40, तुम मेरी मानो कामना पूर्ण की न कल्याण। उमापति महादेव की जय। रुद्राष्टकम। नमामि शमीशान, नमामि शमीशान निर्वाण रूपं, विभुं व्यापकं ब्रह्मवेदस्वरूपं, विभुं व्यापकं ब्रह्मवेदस्वरूपं, निजं निर्गुणं निर्विकल्पं निरीहं, चिराकाशवाकाशवासं भजेऽहं, चिराकाशवाकाशवासं भजेऽहं, निराकारणोऽकारमूलं तुरीयं, गिराज्ञानकोटितमीशं गिरीशं, करालं करालं महाकालकालं कृपालं, गुणागार संसारभारं नतोऽहं, गुणागार संसारभारं नतोऽहं, तुषाराद्रिसंकाशगौरङ्गभीरं, मनोभूतकोटिप्रभाश्रीशरीरं, मनोभूतकोटिप्रभाश्रीशरीरं, स्फुरन्मौलिकल्लोलिनी चारुरङ्गा, लसत्भानुभानि दुधन्ते भुजङ्गा, लसत्भानुभानि दुधन्ते भुजङ्गा, चलत्कुण्डलं भ्रूसुनेत्रं विशालं, प्रसन्नाननं नीलकण्ठं दयालं, मृगाधीशचरणं जयशूलनिर्मूलनं शूलपाणिं, भजेऽहं भवानि भजन् भावगम्यं, भजेऽहं भवानि भजन् भावगम्यं, कलातीतकल्याणकल्पन्तकारी, सदा सजनानन्दनाथपुरारी, चिदानन्द भवत्सुखं शान्ति सन्तापनाशं प्रसीद प्रभो सर्वभूतादिवासं प्रसीद प्रभो सर्वभूतादिवासं न जानामि योगं जपं नैव पूजां नतोऽहं सदा सर्वदा शम्भुतो जरा जन्म दुःखो जरा जन्म दुःखो नितातप्यमानं प्रभो पाहि आपन्नमावेश शम्भो प्रभो पाहि आपन्नमावेश शम्भो नमामि शमीशा नमामि शमीशा निर्वाणरूपं विभुं व्यापकं ब्रह्मवीरस्वरूपं विभुं व्यापकं ब्रह्मवीरस्वरूपं निजं निर्गुणं निर्विकल्पं चिराकाशवाकाशवासं भजेऽहं चिराकाशवाकाशवासं भजेऽहम् ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 प्रेम से बोलो श्री उमापति महादेव की जय जय सीताराम everyone. Om Namah Shivaya. Last week, of course, was Mahashivratri, the greatest nights for Bhagavan Shiva, and one of the greatest nights for us as Hindus. On that night, we did many things. We glorified him, we sang to him, we prayed to him, and we danced to him. Overall, we can all agree that it was a very energetic night. And all of the energies of Bhagavan Shiva, all of the blessings that we're radiating can be felt both in person and online. Wherever or however you connected to, we all connected in some way to Bhagavan Shiva on that holy and auspicious night. And we pray that may such devotion never fade away from us. And may we always be at the feet of Bhagavan Shiva. When being in mandir and prayers, the energies must always be there. The connection between you and Bhagavan must be there. Otherwise, nothing is felt. If we come to mandir, we perform puja, or not even that, we just sit in silence and just admire the wonderful form that we see, whether that is the form that we depict in our mind through the puja in our mind, manka puja, or whether it is looking at the physical form that is created so that we may have something to focus on. Whichever way we connect, there must always be that devotion. And we must always see Bhagwan past a murti. You know, there are two types of people who would walk into a mandir. The first type of person, they would come into a mandir, they'd walk and say, look at how beautiful these murtis look. Look at how beautiful these marble murtis look. How beautifully carved they are, how wonderfully painted they are, and so on. One will just admire the physical form as just the murti that is presented in a mandir. And the second person would say, look at how alive, or look at how vibrant Bhagwan Shiva looks today. Look at how handsome he looks today. Even though the lingam that we see, that we do abhishekam to, that we offer flowers to, that we do puja to any other deity, while all the other gods have a very distinguishable form, so does the lingam. But it is far different from everyone else. It is a much more simpler form that anyone can imagine. But the most simplest of things can become the most beautiful once we give love and devotion to it. Something as simple and lifeless as a stone can become alive once love and devotion is given to it. And so once we take that devotion and spread it through other people, then imagine how much more alive we can become. Before I continue, let us all join in this bhajan. Shisha Ganga Ardhanga Parvati. One cannot be complete with the other. Bhavani cannot be complete without Shankar, and the other way around. And so let us glorify them both in this bhajan. शीश गंगा अर्धंग पार्वती शीश गंगा अर्धंग पार्वती सदा विराजत कैलाशी शीश गंगा अर्धंग पार्वती शीश गंगा अर्धंग पार्वती सदा रक्ष भय नंदी भृंगी नृत्य करत है नंदी भृंगी नृत्य करत है धरत ध्यान सुर सुख राशि धरत ध्यान सुर सुख राशि सदा विराजत कैलाशी शीश गंगा अर्धंग पार्वती शीश गंगा अर्धंग पार्वती यक्ष रक्ष भैरव जहदोलत यक्ष रक्ष भैरव जहदोलत भोलत है वन के वासी भोलत है वन के वासी कोयल शब्द सोनावत सुंदर कोयल शब्द सोनावत भ्रमर करत है गुंजासी भ्रमर करत है गुंजासी सदा विराजत कैलाशी शीश गंगा अर्धंग पार्वती शीश गंगा अर्धंग पार्वती सूर्यकांत सम पर्वत शोभित सूर्यकांत सम पर्वत शोभित चंद्रकांत संग हिम राशि, चंद्रकांत संग हिम राशि, नित्य चौर तू रहत सुशोभित, नित्य चौर तू रहत सुशोभित, सेवत सदा प्रकृति के दासी, सेवत सदा प्रकृति के दासी, सदा विराजत कैलाशी, शीश गंग अर्धंग पार्वती, शीश गंग अर्धंग पार्वती, सदा विराजत कैलाशी, शीश गंग अर्धंग पार्वती, शीश गंग, शीश गंग शीश गंग अर्धंग पार्वती, शीश गंग अर्धंग पार्वती. A beautiful bhajan. Offering physical objects gives us the physical connection between us and Bhagwan. But the spiritual connection is just as important. If we see the form of Bhagwan as just a marble murti, then something is wrong. And so, we always have to see how lively Bhagwan is. Otherwise, we won't be able to connect with him. And so, to build the connection between us and Bhagwan is no easy thing. It takes lots of time. We offer prayers, perform puja, do tapasya, and so more. On Mahashivratri, we did an abundance of things. We did offerings of flowers, prasad, and of course, the beautiful darshan of the lingam. And so, when we offer these things, these are beneficial for all of us. And that is why, in this chanting, Bhagwan Shivji is glorified in a very unique way. आशुतोष शशांक शेखर चंद्र मौलि चिदंबरा, कोटि कोटि प्रणाम शंभु, कोटि नमन दिगंबरा, कोटि नमन दिगंबरा, निर्विकारोंकार अविनाशी तुम देवादिदेव, जगत सरजत प्रलय करता शिवम सत्यम सुंदरम, शिवम सत्यम सुंदरम. ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय. निरंकारो निरंकार स्वरूप कालेश्वर महाजोगीश्वरा, दयानिधि दानीश्वरा, जय जटाधर अभयंकरा, जय जटाधर अभयंकरा. ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय. शूलपाणि त्रिशूलधारी ओघरी भागंबरी, जय महेश त्रिलोचन, विश्वनाथ विशंभरा, विश्वनाथ विशंभरा. ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय. आशुतोष शशांक शेखर चंद्र मौलि चिदंबरा, कोटि कोटि प्रणाम शंभु, कोटि नमन दिगंबरा, कोटि नमन दिगंबरा, कोटि नमन दिगंबरा, कोटि नमन दिगंबरा. Koti koti pranama shambhu koti namana digambara. A few verses from this chanting saying, Ashutosha Shashanka Shekhar Chandramauli Chidambara Koti koti pranama shambhu koti namana digambara. This first verse alone describes probably most of the things you can see just by looking at Bhagavan Shiva. Such a beautiful chanting it is. Ashutosha Shashanka Shekhar. Ashutosh meaning the one who's forgiving. Ashutosh. Bhagavan Shiva, he is known for being able to forgive all of his devotees for whatever bad things they've done. Whatever bad things they've done, he seems to overlook all of those things and sees them as just the innocence. He sees the innocence in all of his bhaktas. If only we could be like that sometimes. Instead of highlighting the thousands of great things a person has done, sometimes we have the tendency to just focus on just the one bad thing they've done. And so how is that fair? And so Bhagavan Shiva kind of takes this to the extreme where he looks past all of the things, he looks past all of the bad things we've done and just sees us as his children, which is what we are. We are all children of God. Ashutosha Shashanka Shekhar Chandramauli Chidambara. Chandramauli means the moon. We all know that Bhagavan Shiva, he has the crescent moon on his forehead. And if you see in the decor for today's darshan, you see that the crescent moon is painted on with the bhasma on the lingam. A beautiful design. Chandramauli meaning Bhagavan Shiva has Chandra as his Mauli. Mauli means crown, which I'm sure all of you know. Rather than having a crown just as the other different gods, he has Chandramauli. He has the crescent moon as his crown. Chandramauli Chidambara. Koti koti pranama shambhu koti namana digambara. Koti koti pranama shambhu. O Shambhu, koti koti, again and again, we continue to bow to you. We are at the grace of your feet. We are forever your servants. Koti namana digambara. We bow to the one who has the name Digambar, the one who does not wear much clothing. And so you may ask, why does Bhagavan Shiva not wear much clothing? But instead of asking that, we should ask, what more does it symbolize? For example, he wears the hide of the animals. And this could be, of course, misunderstood by many, wearing the animal hide, saying all types of different things. But once we really know the true meaning of why he does this, our respect for him and our devotion for him just continues to grow. The reason why he wears the animal skin is that once the animal has died, he takes the skin and he puts it around him so that the animal, whatever it may be, it becomes one with Bhagavan Shiva physically as he wears it. Koti namana digambara. He rubs the bhasma on his body to show that even when we have exited this life, we can still be close to Bhagavan Shiva physically because he takes the ashes of those who have been cremated and he rubs it on his body. While us, we take the lotion, we take whatever lotion and we use it. He takes the ash and he puts it on his body. And so, Ashutosh meaning the one who forgives. If we do anything bad, Bhagavan Shiva becomes Ashutosh, the one who forgives his devotees. Imagine that. Now the question may come to mind, if Bhagavan Shiva forgives us for the bad things we do, does that mean that we can do anything that we want and God will instantly forgive us for it? Does that mean that we can do whatever we please and Bhagavan Shiva will automatically overlook what we do. For example, an easy example that comes to mind is, of course, Ravana, where he let his ego overcome him, but he still remained such a close bhakta to Bhagavan Shiva. In fact, he was one of the greatest devotees of Bhagavan Shiva. And so once he accumulated so much power, of course, he let that turn into his ego, and that was one of the causes of his downfall. He, of course, did so many bad things. He took over many cities and all these things. Last week, we talked about him lifting Kailash, trying to demonstrate how powerful he is, when really, in essence, he is nowhere matched to Bhagavan Shiva, because no one is. He is Devaki Dev Mahadev, the Lord, the God of all gods, the most powerful of all. Shambhavecha Mayo Bhavecha. He is the hero of all. He's the savior. And so, how could we ever compare our accomplishments to Bhagavan Shiva? If we take all of our accomplishments and we put it all together and we place it at the feet of Bhagavan Shiva, it only equates to less than a mustard seed compared to his greatness. Shambhu Mahadev, he's glorified so much for a reason, you know. But when Ravana displays his event, when he tries to lift up the mountain, and he's struggling to lift it up, he's barely getting it off the ground. What does Shivji do? To remind him of his place, to remind Ravana of who he really is, he takes his little pinky toe, he just barely touches it on the tip of Kailash, the mountain. And the entire Kailash mountain drops on the hands of Ravana. And so his hands are crushed. And yet, only for that moment, his ego is crushed. And so he composes the great stotram. Jatata viggaladjalat prabhapavitastale galevalam bhyalambitam bhujangatunga malika damad 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 ninadamad damarvayam chakara chandratanava tanotuna shiva shivam. He composed right there on the spot the Tandav Stotram, which is known worldwide today. And so when Bhagavan Shiva sees this, when he sees Ravana pleading for forgiveness, he says, "Look at what I've done. I've made my child upset." And so what he does, Ravana, once he chants this powerful stotram to him, Bhagavan Shiva sees this and says, "I must be there for my child. I must be there to comfort him." And so sometimes we may have the mentality that God has forsaken us. We may think that when troubling times comes to us and God has forsaken us. But that is never the case. In fact, Bhagavan wants you even closer to him. And so, when we look at Ravana, his demise was due to his past karmas. Karmas meaning his actions. And so, when we hear about Ravana's defeat, we think of course he had to be defeated, because Sri Ram had to defeat him, because he's like the villain. He had to be defeated because, he was causing all these bad things. But we have to remember that he, as well as everyone else, must pay for their karmas. Not only do we reap the benefits, but we also have to reap the negative things that come as a result of our karma. Karma isn't only just whatever you do unto the world, the same is returned back to you. It has to do with everything. Your thoughts, what you touch, what you feel, what you do, what you see, what you hear. That's why we say in the prayer, Karacharana kritam va kayajam karmajam va shravananainajam va manasam va paradham vihitam avihitam va sarvame takshamaswam Jai Jai Karunadhe Shri Mahadeva Shambhu. We all know this prayer very well. Karacharanakritam va kayajam karmajam va. O Lord, if we have committed anything wrong, va kayajam, through our speech, karmajam, through our action, shravananaina jamva manasam va paradham, vihitam avihitam va sarvame takshamaswa. Jai Jai Karunadhe Shri Mahadeva Shambhu. That's why we say in that prayer, whatever we have done, O Lord, whatever we've seen, whatever we've heard, whatever we've smelt, whatever we've tasted, whatever we've said, if anything that we have done is considered inappropriate, we beg for your forgiveness, O Lord, and we bow to your feet. Vihitam avihitam, we can do things intentionally or unintentionally. It's kind of like if you call someone and you intentionally call them, you end up talking to them. But if you accidentally call the wrong person, you end up with the same result. You're talking to the same person and you have some sort of discussion. And that's how it works. And so, in the Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran, there was someone named Putna. We all know who she was. She was the demon who specialized in getting rid of little children. Imagine how sinister that was. And so Kans, who was Sri Krishna's evil uncle, told Putna to poison little baby Krishna. And as she was poisoning little baby Krishna, Sri Krishna, instead of being hurt by the poison, he was extracting the poison from Putna in a way where he was saying, give me all of your negative things so that you may be able to purify yourself. And so once Putna, she was liberated by Bhagwan Shri Krishna. And so she ascended straight to Swarg. And so we may ask the question, if she was such a terrible person, how was she able to go to Swarg immediately? Well, it was of course because Bhagwan made the choice to liberate her and for her to attain moksha. But of course, her karmas will never go unnoticed rather. And so, her actions could never go unnoticed. And so, she, as well as everyone else, must reap the rewards and benefits, as well as pay for our karmas. And so, in the Bhagavad Gita, what does Shri Krishna say? Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva Yathe Dansi Samidhognir भस्मसात् कुरुते अर्जुन ज्ञानाग्नि सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे यथेधांसि समिद्धोऽग्निर् भस्मसात् कुरुते अर्जुन ज्ञानाग्नि सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, as the blazing fire turns firewood to ashes, O Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge burn to ashes all reactions of material activities. In this verse, Shri Krishna says that as a blazing fire, as it reduces fuel to ashes, so does the fire of knowledge reduce all karma to ashes. There is no purifier in this world like knowledge. He that is protected in yoga realizes in their own hearts in due time. Lord Krishna says that to better understand this verse, Shri Krishna says, if you are sleeping and you're having a bad dream, you have to wake up, of course. Having the bad dream represents our ignorance, and waking up is the realization or the knowledge. And we cannot escape our karmas, but of course we can purify them. Remember, even God has to pay for their karmas. Remember with Bhagavan Shri Krishna, he had a son named Pradyumna, and so he was kidnapped because he did the same thing while stealing Rukmini. And so, as we conclude, let us make sure that our karmas always remain pure, and remember that our actions can, of course, make us closer to Bholinath. Just before we conclude, there's a dedication for tonight. This dedication says, Happy 14th birthday to our wonderful, beautiful, thoughtful daughter and sister Divya. Words alone cannot describe how lucky we are to have you with us. With every passing day, we grow more and more proud of you and your achievements. May Bhagwan continue to bless you in all your undertakings. Love, Mom, Dad, Govinda, Tosara, Vishnu, Nani, Nana. Let us dedicate this bhajan to Divya on her birthday. Hey Shiva Shankar Nataraja, Meto Janma Janma Ka Das Tera. Birth after birth, may we always be at your service, O Bhagwan Shiva. Hey Shiva Shankar Nataraja Meto Janma Janma Ka Das Tera. Janma Janma Ka Das Tera. Hey Shiva Shankar Nataraja Meto Janma Janma Ka Das Tera. Meto Janma Janma Ka Das Tera. निश दिन करता मैं नाम जपूं तेरा. शिव 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 गूंजत मन मेरा. निश दिन करता मैं नाम जपूं तेरा. शिव 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 गूंजत मन मेरा. तुम ही मेरे प्रभु, तुम ही कृपालु. तुम हो मेरे प्रभु, तुम ही कृपालु. करो समर्पण दीन दयालु. हे शिव शंकर नटराजा मेतो जन्म जन्म का दास तेरा. जन्म जन्म का दास तेरी जटा से बहती पवित्रता, तेरी जटा से बहती पवित्रता, तीनों लोक में तुम हो दाता, तीनों लोकों के तुम हो दाता। डमरू बजाया तमस भगाया, डमरू बजाया तमस भगाया, झरते चमको तुम ही ज्ञाना। हे शिव शंकर नत राजा, मैं तो जन्म जन्म का दास तेरा, जन्म जन्म का दास तेरा, जन्म जन्म का दास तेरा, जन्म जन्म का दास तेरा। Before we stand for our tea, just a quick announcement. This Saturday, we have our GoVax program. Where we have partnered up to get the GoVax vaccine bus to come to our mandir. The information about the time is posted on our Facebook page and our Instagram page as well. Here you can get your first dose of the vaccine, your second dose, or even your booster as well. So even though the vaccine mandates may not be there for many places, please continue to get your vaccines to further protect yourself against this pandemic. Prem se bolo Shri Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Let us all stand for Aarti. Om Yani Kani Cha Papani Janamantarakritani Cha Tani Sarvani Nashyantu Pradakshinam Pade Pade. Om Jai Shiva Omkara Swami Har Shiva Omkara Jai Shiva Omkara Swami Har Shiva Omkara Brahma Vishnu Sada Shiva Brahma Vishnu Sada Shiva Ardhangi Dhara Om Jai Shiva Omkara Om Hare 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 Mahadev Ekanan Chaturanan Bhagam Bharadhari O Swami Bangamare Hansasana Garudasana Hansasana Garudasana Vishwavahana Saje Om Jai Shiva Omkara दो भुज चारु चतुर भुज दस भुजते सोहे ओ स्वामी दस भुजते सोहे तीनों रूप निरखता तीनों रूप निरखता त्रिभुवन जन मोहे ओम जय शिव ओंकारा Lakshmala Balmala कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेवम्। ॐ गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वर गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। असतो मा सतगमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। प्रेम से बोलो श्री गणपति भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, जगदम्बिका दुर्गा माता की जय, श्री सांब सदा शिवाय नमः। ओम भवानी शंकर भगवान की जय, श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। सब कोई जय जय सीताराम। जय सीताराम everyone. Shubh Ratri and have a blessed rest of your week.